Hi, okay, this is a quick tutorial just looking at how to use the read node, or how to bring files in. So you can, just using Windows Explorer, just, have your folder open and you can just drag files straight into Nuke. However, you can have some slight issues sometimes depending on when you're bringing in image sequences things. The best thing to do really would be just use the read node that's available in here. It's sort of what it's built for. So the read node is in the image button on your node toolbar. There it is, and you can click read and that will sort of open it up like that. What you'll see is when you do click on the read, it has a little R next to it, so that's your shortcut key. So that means if my mouse is here in my node graph and I press R, it'll open up the read option box as well. One quick thing to bear in mind is that shortcut keys do different things depending on where your mouse is in Nuke. So when my mouse is over my viewer, it instead shows me the red channel. So you'll see here it says RGB because it's showing me the red, green and blue channels together simultaneously, even though we haven't got anything in there at the moment. However, if I press R now, notice that will change to just the red channel, and press R again, it'll change back to the red, green and blue channels. So the R button there is being used for something very different, whereas in the node graph it's used to bring up the read files node. So the read node, sorry. So just bear that in mind. So the first thing is when I select this, my files are actually in my download folder, so I have to kind of go and find that. So there's my downloads, and then it's in there. So not too far, but you may have to sort of scour through a few folders to get to where you want. What you can do to save yourself some time is once you're in there, in the folder you want to work from, you can press this little plus button, which will add that as a favorite here onto the left. So it says, what do you want to call it? And I'll keep it as downloads, that's fine. Click OK, and so you'll see now I'll have a button called downloads, or a little folder icon. Click on that and it'll automatically take me to that location. Okay, so if I jump somewhere else, for example, press the downloads button, again it takes me there. So it's a good way to sort of store your certain locations if you're always going back to them. Press the minus button and you can take that location off at any point. So if I go into output, you'll see here I'm only seeing one file. Now generally Nuke works best with image sequence files, I found as well, rather than things that are in containers. So if we jump into the folder here and go into that output folder, you'll see that actually this is an image sequence, but because they're all numbered, it automatically recognizes that. So that's why it only shows one, and it recognizes it starts at 0, ends at 115. So if we have a quick look at that, yeah, we should see that's exactly what's happening. So that's quite good, and that's because this sequences button is pressed, by the way. So if for any reason I didn't want to do that, and I just wanted to bring in one of those pictures, all I have to do is uncheck the sequences button, and you can see now it shows every single image. But I'll keep that ticked. Now select that and click. Now if I click open, it'll close the dialog box and I'm done. If I had multiple files I wanted to bring in, it depends. You can shift click and select multiple files, but they might be in different boxes, in different folders, in which case just click the next button once you've done that, and then go to the next location and select a file and press next. And then when you're done and you click open, it'll bring in all those files. So once I've done that, you can see there's my file that's come in as a read node, and there are the properties of this file, its location, okay, and it gives me some information about its format and so on. And what can happen sometimes is you may end up moving the location. So in here I might sort of either move it somewhere else or maybe just rename the folder or something happens. Now generally obviously that's something you shouldn't be doing, but things like that can happen. What you may find then happens in here is because it's looking for that in a folder called output. Let's connect it, in fact, there we go. And you can see it's coming up with error because it can't find it because the location's gone, it's moved. So like I said, it could be a hard drive, maybe you disconnect or something like that, and then you reconnect it and maybe for whatever reason it didn't pick it up. You can just obviously select the location again. Let's go back to downloads output 1 this time, and we can reconnect it that way. So yeah, just in case if that ever happens as well. Okay, but that's how you generally bring in files into Nuke.